Welcome back. I'm NickNackVintage, and in this video, I'm going to go over how I got into reselling, how I became a reseller on Depop, and even better, how I became a verified top seller on Depop. I'm going to go over what I learned, how I learned what I know, and the steps that I took along the way to achieve what I wanted. So first things first, let's get into how I was introduced to reselling. So the place I sourced my clothes at, let's call it the store. I was first told about the store from a buddy of mine from work. He said, great place to look for clothes, very cheap, very affordable, a lot of cool stuff. It's a little bit of work, but it pays off in the end. I said, okay, well, I like wearing vintage clothing, 80s, 90s, random t-shirts, windbreakers, stuff like that, you name it. I wear it, always strive for it. So to give it a shot, I go to the store, walk in, didn't really know what to expect, didn't know how it worked, If you ever go to an outlet, it's kind of a lot to take in at first. So while I was there, I met a man who had a shopping cart overflowing with women's clothes. I mean, dresses, skirts, blouses, jeans. I was like, what's the catch, I mean, if you wear that stuff, that's totally fine. Don't judge at all. I just had to kind of know what's up. So I went up to him, I said, hey, what are you doing with all these women's clothes? Are they for your wife? Are they for you? What's the deal, So he told me, oh, me and my wife are resellers. I go, reselling? Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so you buy these and sell them. I'm thinking like, Facebook Marketplace, maybe sell them on eBay. Didn't really know any other platforms at that time. I said, oh cool, it's probably a good little side job. He said, no. Me and my wife make over $100,000 a year doing this. So when he told me that, what do you think I did? I laughed my ass off. I said, ha, yeah, right, dude, come on, get out of here. There's no way you make $100,000 a year doing this. He said, look at this. Showed me his phone. Now on eBay, which he sells on, you can look at your amount of sales in the last 90 days. Pull up his phone, I remember the exact number, $12,693 in sales in the last 90 days. I said, is this like a screenshot off of Google? He said, no, this is the real deal. So at that point, I knew what I wanted. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've always bought stuff, sold it for hire. Not gonna get into what I did, but back in 8th grade, I remember I used to, buy 12 packs of soda and sell the cans at 75 cents each. Take my money back, take all the money I got, go to the, store again, get another 12 pack, sell that off, and then keep the profits that I don't use to buy another 12 pack to do whatever I want. I've always had that seller's mentality. I've always been a businessman since I was a kid. So I said, hey, I'll give it a shot, Don't really know what to look for. All I knew was I wanted to do vintage clothing because that was my thing. It was my passion. I already had a niche. So now that I had a niche, I just had to figure out where I was going to sell my stuff on. I created a Facebook page. I created an eBay account. I created a Poshmark account. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And my mentality was, I'm going to master all these platforms. I'm going to post everything on every single platform. I'm going to sell on everything. I'm going to try to maximize profits on everything. Me personally, that did not work at all. The most time-consuming thing I've ever dealt with in my life. Now, if you have all the time in the world to do this, and you have all the money in the world to do this, and I mean, you are already excelling as a reseller, and you have clientele, go for it. But when you're starting out, my best advice is to pick one platform and master it. Now, that's exactly what I did. Same coworker that told me about the store, I went up to him. I know he had a reselling buddy. I said, hey, where does your buddy Keegan sell his stuff on? He goes, oh, he sells it on Depop. And just like whenever I tell somebody I sell on Depop, they go, what the hell's a Depop? That's exactly what I said. And he's like, well, it's kind of like a mix between Instagram and eBay. I said, okay, Instagram's pretty cool, eBay's popular. Let's give it a shot, So download Depop, create my account. Not really knowing what I was doing still. Just kind of fishing around with the app, and it looked pretty cool. I mean, it was very smooth. I already had a few things that I had bought at the store. I'd say about 5 to 6 items. Very, very small fry stuff in my time. So I posted them up, writing these giant descriptions, smoke-free, pet-free home, every little detail I could on it, very time-consuming stuff because, like I said, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I was on Depop for about, let's see, 3 to 4 weeks. Wasn't really sourcing too much. I had my little stockpile of vintage things. I had maybe like 14 pieces when I first started. I was like, oh, I'll make $100 off of these, I had like my t-shirts posted at $60 a piece. I had this Packers jacket posted at 100. I didn't really know what the value of stuff was, but I'll get into the knowledge part later on in this video. But I had these two really funky patterned shirts, and I mean, they were extremely psychedelic, made of 100% rayon from the 70s. I had them posted up for 40 bucks each. I said, hey, what the heck, let's see if they sell. So I think it was about a week after that, I woke up out of a dead sleep, looked at my phone, it said, you received $80 from blank. I shot up out of my bed, oh my gosh. I was so psyched that I made my first sale, like my first online sale, knowing this was real and this could be done. You know, I did a little dance, I didn't sleep after that. I was just psyched that I was, you know, officially a reseller. So after that, I was like, okay, I gotta get a background. You know, I had these really crappy tan walls, not much of a background, not a lot of space to take pictures at, because I was in a really small 1-bedroom apartment at the time. So I had this old sleeping bag in my closet that I got from my grandma's. It was blue, teal. It was kind of like a color block, but I put it up on my wall with nails, set a stool down, started taking pictures like that. This is my pose. I had the, you know, the shades, the Kangol hat. That's what everybody kind of knew me as when I, you know, first started doing it. And I was making a decent amount of sales for the first few months. You know, I'd sell maybe sometimes 100 bucks worth of stuff a week. Or actually, I think it was 100 bucks a month at first. Started making little sales here and there, but the more I started getting, the more I started selling. The more work I put in, the more money I got back. The biggest core value when it comes to anything in life is you get out what you put into it. Remember that. You get out what you put into it. So say you slack, say you don't take this stuff seriously. Say you say, this is just a part-time thing for me, not really interested in being that big. That's what's gonna happen. But if you tell yourself, I'm gonna be a monster, I'm gonna be a beast, I'm gonna master this, I'm gonna master Depop, I'm gonna master everything, I'm gonna become the best reseller in the world. If you set your sights like that, that's what's gonna happen, one way or another. I understand things happen in life, but you gotta stay focused. So sooner or later, Depop started recognizing me, because the first time I got featured on the Explore page, I was bugging out, you know? Started getting all these notifications. I got like 100 notifications. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, my first item on the Explore page, they must know that I want this as bad as I do. So as time went on, started making more sales, started getting more stock, started changing up the ways that I did things. I think it was around quarantine time is when I first started hitting the top seller criteria. I think it was about a month before that. Month 2 was in the midst of quarantine lockdown. You know, I got the email from Depop saying, hey, you know, we've been watching you, we've been recognizing how good you're doing, and you're hitting the sales criteria to become a top seller. I said, sick, you know? I'm glad that my work is paying off, you know? I'm gonna keep doing this, you know? If I can do it 1 or 2 months, I can do it the other months. Well, during quarantine, it was extremely hard to source stuff. I had a buddy who I cleared out a couple times. I got a couple mystery boxes that you've seen on my YouTube channel. One was good, one was trash. I really had to gamble. I mean, at that point, I was worried, you know? I was like, I'm not gonna be able to hit this criteria because I can't get close. Luckily, I don't know how I did it, I was able to do it. And I think it was May. Yeah, I think it was May. I became a suggested seller. No, it was before that. Okay, April. I became a suggested seller. So on the Explore page, there's these little columns. They're little circles. They say like streetwear, retro, modern thrift. I got put on as a suggested seller in the streetwear column. You know, sales skyrocketed, likes skyrocketed, followers skyrocketed. And I mean, I already had a decent following because I did what I, you know, put out for tips in a video that's on my channel. If you want, you know, tips on how to become known more on Depop, check that out. But yeah, being a suggested seller was an awesome milestone in my journey. But yeah, I think it was June of 2019. I got an email from a Depop representative saying, hey, 1 more month, you got it, dude. You got it in the bag, like, this is gonna happen. And I was like, yo, this is it. Like, I felt like the earth was coming up above me and saying, Nick, you have to do this, you know? Like, and finally, in July of 2019, I became a top seller. I got that blue tick, never looked back. Sales have been booming, business has been booming. I mean, it's the best feeling in the world to know that I've worked for something. So the biggest takeaway I can give you if you want to become a top seller is number 1, work hard, stay dedicated. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it. As Juna says, they think they want it, but they don't. So if you don't want to become a top seller, you're not going to become one. If you want to become a top seller, you got to do what it takes to get there. Stay consistent. Keep your pictures clean. Use descriptive keywords. Stay consistent with posting, and stay consistent in your niche. If you keep doing that, you will make it as a top seller. You will become a top seller, and I hope you do. I mean, if someone becomes successful off of the tips that I give them or the knowledge that I give them, I feel good about myself. If they surpass me, I feel even better, because it's like I helped someone become what they wanted to be. And that's one of the best feelings in the world. I don't know, I can't really say much more beyond that. So when it comes to gaining knowledge on what to look for based around your niche, just do your research. You have the internet, you have your phone, you know. The internet is free, it's free knowledge. I mean, obviously make sure you know what you're looking for, but I mean, otherwise there's plenty of people in the game. Instagram's a great place to network. Some people are a little bit standoffish, and I understand that, but at the same time, I'm always down to spread knowledge. I'm always down to help others become successful, because like I said, it makes me feel good. That's success in my eyes. So when I first started going to the store, my good buddies now are who I called the OGs back then. I didn't really know them, but I knew that they had the knowledge that I wanted to gain. So, you know, little by little, I started asking them little questions like, hey, found anything good today? Hey, what do you guys look for? And I started finding pieces that I thought were really cool, but didn't know the value. So I'd ask them, you know, what is this tag? You know, what does this mean? What is this graphic? And I started building on my knowledge. Now, I'm no vintage genius. I'm not, you know, the most knowledgeable person out there, because I'm always learning. There's always more to learn. But just do your networking, do your research, compare values of the piece you have on eBay, and you'll have a pretty easy time doing that after you can grasp that concept, which I hope you do. The last thing the last advice I can give you is always have fun doing it. The day you lose fun or lose interest in something is the day it becomes a job. Who likes a job? Who likes to work? Nobody. This is a hobby. This is a passion. This is something I love to do. I don't look at it as my job. I look at it as I'm making money doing something I love. So if you keep that mindset, you'll become successful too. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was a little bit of a kick in the butt for you to get going here. Make sure you watch all the videos that I have on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of tips on shipping, Depop tips and tricks, and I hope this video helped a lot too to keep you motivated. So until next time, follow me on Depop, Instagram, and subscribe to me on YouTube at NickNackVintage, and stay tuned for more content.